The real story of global culinary tradition can be found in the kitchens of everyday women cooking for their families. So much so that I wrote a book about it, featuring grandmothers from different African countries sharing traditional recipes from their homeland. Now I want to share my take on some of these classic African dishes for you to enjoy. Welcome to Hawa at Home. Hi everyone, I'm Hawa Hassan, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Doro Wat. Doro Wat is a chicken stew that is from Ethiopia. It is the essential dish of Ethiopia. It also comes from Eritrea, neighboring countries. They share similar cuisine. Ethiopia and Eritrea are both in the Horn of Africa. That means they're on the east side of Africa. Ethiopia is landlocked, close to the Nile River, but Eritrea is on the Red Sea, which goes on into the Indian Ocean. The bedrock of this dish is the Berbere spice. Berbere has spices that are sweet, spicy, warm. We're gonna bring all of those together. Well, Doro Wat, it literally just means stew. It's a stew that features chicken drums and eggs, and the backbone of it is Berbere. The anjera, which it sits on, is used as a utensil to basically eat it. The anjera is made from their grain dip, which is indigenous to that part of the world. It grows in Ethiopia and Eritrea. Ultimately, the way that you eat it is in a communal style. And as so many people will see on this show, you get to see what's called gursha, because a lot of their love language is sharing food together and then feeding it to one another. Here's what goes into it. We've got Mexican chilies, paprika, cayenne, cardamom, coriander, cumin, ginger, mustard, onion, allspice, cloves, garlic, and nutmeg. Here's a great spice that is often used in Ethiopian cooking that most people don't know. Fenugreek is actually a big agent in the Berbere spice. If you don't have fenugreek, you could always use mustard seeds or powdered mustard. So you can get fenugreek ground, you can get it ground, or you can get it whole. I like to get it ground. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the rest of our spices. Everyone makes theirs a little bit different. Some people are so particular that they have berbere shipped in from Ethiopia and Eritrea. You can make it at home, you can buy it at the supermarket. I prefer making mine because I like my spices on the fresher side. Okay, it's starting to get fragrant, so I'll mix this. You wanna mix until you've got the essential oils kind of peeking through the spice. No more than 2 minutes. I don't want to burn the spices. You can smell it.
You got a little pepper in your eye?
I think so, but I shall be fine. Whoa. This is obviously a lot more than I need, so I'm gonna put it in an airtight jar and put it in my pantry. It'll keep for about 3 to 5 months, depending on how fresh your spices are. It's fragrant and the oils have started to give off. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it to the side to allow to cool. So it's time to start our doro. Deep down inside, I like to say that I am an ambassador from Ethiopia. My godkids are Ethiopian, my best friend is Ethiopian. I grew up eating Ethiopian food my whole entire life, but my cookbook in Bibi's kitchen talks about the cuisines of Eritrea, which is so similar to Ethiopian food. I'm gonna put this on medium heat. I'm using a Dutch oven so that nothing burns. I would say that the main differences between the two countries are that Eritrea is on a lower elevation, and so warmer vegetables are used, like eggplant and tomato, in a lot of the cooking. I'm also using ghee, which is a big deal in Ethiopian cuisine. Also, Eritrea was colonized by the Italians, and so there's a lot of red sauce and pasta in their cooking. Eritrea, being on the Red Sea leading onto the Indian Ocean, lent itself to more flavors, but you wouldn't know the difference. They even have their own type of butter that is similar to ghee. It's called gebe. It's a spice butter mixed with berbere. Berbere comes from just the warmer vegetables that are used. So this place makes a great berbere. It's my go-to for everything berbere. They don't have it today, but all of the ingredients that go inside to our berbere spice can be found here. Food is similar, the religions are similar, the language is similar. I would say that the main difference is just the colonization that took place via the Italians, which lent itself to some of its cuisines and affected the way that the people of Eritrea interact with the folks of Ethiopia, but otherwise everything else is the same. And Ethiopians will say that they are the only country in Africa that's never been colonized. Keep in mind that ghee butter has a nutty flavor to it. You can also use regular butter or olive oil. In regards to colonization, I think that places like Eritrea and Somalia were for the taken and were negotiated and given to the Italians. Oh yeah. So now that I've got my ghee, I'm going to go ahead and grab my onions, garlic, and ginger. This might be going a little bit outside of the scope of the negotiation, and the giving away really did take place by the king of Ethiopia. And so there's still a lot of bad blood there in regards to the way that Africa was divided, where the British got Kenya, where the Arabs got Tanzania. And so when the Horn was really divided, even though culturally we all stayed the same, with some, tiny differences, the main thing that really happened was with the way that the countries were divided and how we were, ultimately affected, whether it was our cuisine, our religion, our language. 6 garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of ginger. I'll bring this together until the onion starts to soften, and then I'll start to add my berbere. Now that my onions are beginning to sweat, I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 tablespoons of berbere. Let's see how I'm feeling. Okay, a little bit, a little extra. I recently cooked with a chef from Ethiopia who owns an incredible restaurant in my neighborhood. So happy to be here.
Same here. It's not quite often that we get customers who come and cook with us. You're the
Strange
first one.
to be in your
Yes.
kitchen. And I'm so excited to learn from you. Doro Wat is one of my favorite dishes.
Really? Doro Wat is everybody's favorite.
Yeah, if I'm gonna learn it from someone who other
Okay.
than you. She put me to shame. She told me that I did not, one, use enough berbere, and then she taught me the trade secrets of berbere. Add a little salt to taste. Combine this all together. She also shared with me that it is the red gold of that part of East Africa.
Do you know what we call the berbere?
No, what?
It's called the red gold of Ethiopia.
What?
Because nobody has this kind of spice.
You guys have definitely mastered berbere.
You don't find any berbere that's as fine as this one here in this country. I haven't seen one yet. So this is one that I bring from home.
As every nation, to some degree, has a spice that is, native to them. Like the Somalis have the hawaj. People along the Indian Ocean have garam masala. In South Africa, they have the braai. Oh, this is a pretty color. I'll put in some water. I'm gonna toss in 2 vine-ripe tomatoes. They'll give off a little juice. And then it's time for our chicken to go in. Oh, yeah. I'd grown up around this food and spent a lot of time around Ethiopian and Eritrean people in Seattle, but in my research for the cookbook, what was so eye-opening and refreshing for me was that I, for the first time as an adult, was spending time with the women who were, the elders from that part of the world, and really getting their take on the cuisine and the lack of measurements and the freeness in the kitchen and the confidence in which they moved around the kitchen in. And so I think I'd taken that for granted as a little kid in Seattle. And so it was really nice to be around that energy. I'm using 8 drumsticks, some salt. Just gonna go ahead and take these little guys and just nest them into there. And I just like the flavor of dark meat chicken, and I think that it cooks better and holds on to the juices a little bit. So this is why this dish is beloved. Most of their cuisine is vegan and vegetarian. So when they eat meat, they go really, really big. So both in Eritrea and Ethiopia, there's a lot of fasting that takes place. So oftentimes meat is not something that's eaten outside of celebratory moments. And so their food is really heavy on vegan and vegetarian. You could see it's already got a really beautiful, rich color. Developing the flavors takes a while, but the recipe does come together rather quickly. And traditionally, Doro Wat is made with chicken drums. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down. I'm going to let this simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour. In the meantime, I'm just gonna straighten up. That's the old school dance. The people used to go like that. No, I'm joking. I'm not a good dancer. So it's been about 45 minutes. Our chicken should be tender and falling off the bones. Oh, wow. Immediately, the berbere and the ghee jump at me. I'm going to go ahead and get our eggs and put them in there, and then I'll start serving myself. I've peeled my eggs already. They're a hard boil. I'm gonna just give a little poke in there so that the juices of the stew can seep in. The way I learned about breaking the egg from Chef Orke is that you slit into you like create a little dent in the eggs so that it could absorb the flavor.
Just like we sliced the meat so that the sauce will be absorbed, this is the way we do it.
For the eggs?
For the eggs.
Maybe I'll do it.
Yeah.
You judge me again.
Okay.
So just a little piece, right?
Yeah. No, that's too much. That's too much.
That's too
Too
big?
much, too much.
Okay.
You see this size here, or even slimmer. So this is the way it's supposed to look.
Okay.
And then when the sauces go into the yolk, that's the best part.
Just gonna fold our eggs in, then I'll cut the heat off. I know my Doro Wat is done when I could see that the onions have completely cooked down, and I've got that almost clay red undertone happening here. The chicken has totally moved away from the bone. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And this dish gets better overnight, so the longer it sits, the better it gets. I think a lot of when I was missing home in Seattle, one of the things that made me feel really welcomed and warm was my best friend's mom. You know, her feeding us as like 12-year-olds was overbearing but tender and it felt like what my mom would do. It also was a reminder of how like culture is a connecting point for me. Traditionally, it's served with a anjera, which is a fermented sourdough from Ethiopia and Eritrea. Today, I'm gonna just put it on a bed of rice for myself. And if you wanna eat this with a bread, you can make a quick bread yourself at home, or you can have it with a baguette, or you could do like I am. And get some berbere just in case I don't have enough in there, or I want more. So that's exactly what I was looking for. This is it. So if I had the anjera, I would just scoop it up together like that and eat it with my hands. That's traditionally the way that it's eaten. I'm really excited to be eating this. Oh, the nuttiness of the ghee, the spiciness of the berbere, and the ginger have really come out in this stew. I completely understand why it's the essential dish of Ethiopia. It comes together really fast. It cooks in about 45 minutes to an hour. It's a weekly night meal that you can make ahead of time. You can keep for 4 or 5 days. should really try to make this at home. You will not regret it.